It's all about people and the chemistry that was mentioned there. You know, a set has an inner dynamic in terms of its chemistry between all the various people. And you mightn't work on that set, but you could work on that set over there because you're a particular type. Anybody can knock on your door. It doesn't matter whether you're a head of department or whether you're the lowliest guy on the, you know, I always say the most important people to us are the drivers, because they pick up the actors in the morning and they know how the hell the actor is going to be by the time he gets to Bray or he gets to Ashford. So in a way, you know, everybody is so important because they all have a vital job to do, and they all, in one way or another, complement each other.
It's personality. That plays also a big part. Communication, really big part in the industry, very, very big part. We do need more series coming in to get more people on. We do have to get a bit more involved and a bit more connection with the industry, a lot more with all these institutes. But it doesn't guarantee you a job at the end, as Morgan said. I think it's still day one when you arrive in, but once you start on that ladder, you will start to move, and you can move quite quickly.
Trying, even if you're never going to be in the camera department, understand what the different size lenses are going to mean. That's how you're being portrayed if you're in front of camera, and it's your bread and butter if you're behind it. Understand how the editor's going to try to put it together. Understand why costume are so fussy about where a button is on a uniform or how the chain hangs on a uniform. There's a reason for it. There's a reason why we all do what we do, and I think the best of you will be the best that you can be by understanding as much about the entire industry and about how all the different pieces of the jigsaw come together.
So you should not have an obsession with the equipment. Like, that's a very important part of your job. You know, you have to deal with the electrical department, you have to deal with production, you have to deal with production designers. But the main thing about your job is, and the main thing that I feel about my job is, that I am a filmmaker. You know, that's where my passion is. Like, you know, I mean, I love film ever since I was a kid, and like I talked about, like, you know, going up through, and that's the main thing. You should, and whatever you decide to do, that's where your passion should be.
When you're applying for a job, first of all, if somebody rings you up and says there's a chance you can come out on a day for work experience, first of all you ask them, what is it? Is it a period film? Is it a modern film? Is it a commercial? So you have an idea before you go out.
The things that you discover in a cutting room, watching an editor and a director, you just can't buy. So for people wanting to get in, I would say, you know, if you want to be an editor, get in touch with editors, say you want to become an editor, and spend time in the editing room with and watch the editor.
As a graphic designer, okay, you have to understand a lot about layout as well. And you need to show a range of stuff, from posters to traditional design, sketches, you know, your understanding of typography, you know, right down to signage. You need to show a range, but not just throw it onto a page, you need to present it.
As regards the type of personality in the art department, would be creative and hard-working, organised. As Morgan said, you have to shoot the call sheet. If someone asks for something, like what I tend to do in the art department is, I would get the director and the producer in straight away, like in week one of, say, a 4-week prep, to discuss exactly what we're going to do. So that'll be just the director, producer, and the art department, from the trainee to myself, and we write all the notes down so that everybody knows then what we're going to try and achieve.
The great thing about being in the production office and being a runner is you get into all the various departments. So you see how the departments work. And you also find out during that period, what do I really like? Where would I like to be in this sort of overall scheme of things? What are my innate talents that will work in the various areas, say in the art department, in the camera department, in stunts, in acting, in whatever. So you get introduced to the industry. It's a great induction process into the industry.
One thing also that's really, and I think everybody would probably agree on the table, especially doing series work, is documentary experience. Documentary experience takes you into a whole new era, and not only especially from camera and sound point of view, and the areas that you work in, because you learn to cope in really bad situations sometimes, and you still have to come out with an end product. Likewise, in serious type work, we do tend to work at speed to a point, and we want to give 100% of an end result at the end of the day.
What's harder to do on a stunt is to have on-the-job training, because you don't really learn how to crash a car by crashing a car. But it's not to say that you can't be there watching the preparation, watching the people who are doing the performing. So I think the opportunities are there, and there is, to be honest with you, put my hand up and say I was pretty instrumental in forming the path to develop a stunt career. And that is, we essentially copied the UK one, which is at least world recognised. 6 qualifications from, I think, about 8 different sections. No more than 2 can be in anything. So, for example, martial arts, boxing, fencing would be examples of one section. You can have 1 or 2 in there, but you have to have a mix.
They go in as a camera trainee and they think, you know, I want to be a cinematographer within like 3 weeks or 4 weeks or a few months. Like, that's not going to happen. Like, you're not learning that kind of way. You're learning actually to be a clap-a-loader above everything else. But you're also getting fantastic experience on a set, which is like, you know, that's like what Morgan talked about. Like, it is incredible, the experience you get on a set.
You just need passion, and you need to be willing to put up with long hours, long hours, because costume gets in, like art department gets in at the crack of dawn, and sometimes you don't get a lunch break, you're on a running lunch, you're looking after other people, you don't have time to look after yourself, so you need to have a bag with all your own stuff in it to hand that you can whip out your raincoat when you need to, apart from looking after umbrellas and getting wet down the back of your collar and, oh jeez, we've done it all.
You gotta be the squeaky door. You gotta go out, you gotta hammer on the door of the production designer or the art director who's ever working on it. Make a relationship, tell them how wonderful you are. If you have a presentation, get it in front of them. That if you literally are passionate enough and want to achieve something, you can do it. It can be done.